Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Elite, the Elite Count. I'm War Machine MJ, and I'm here today to talk about AEW from June the 10th. Yes, June the 10th. So let's go ahead and kick this off, shall we? We kicked off the show with Chris Jericho and Floyd the Bat joining commentary for a really hit or miss four-man commentary booth. Of course, JR, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone were on the panel. Or, I'm sorry, Schiavone, as Jericho calls him. Anyway, we kicked off the show with the Butcher and the Blade, not the Bunny, taking on the debuting FTR. Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood rolling up in that same truck they rolled in a couple of weeks ago, and they put on an absolute clinic with the Butcher and the Blade. Of course, Jericho was highlight on commentary. He was just all over the place. He was amazing. The finish came when the Butcher, I'm trying to remember the difference. I'm trying to remember who's who. The Butcher, the big guy, ate a clumsy looking cheddar machine, which I'll give him a pass on that one, because he is a big dude, so they probably couldn't heft him up, couldn't pop him up high enough for it. Anyway, Harwood and Wheeler then put the Blade away with the Mindbreaker, which is a stock pile driver, for the victory. After the match, FTR basically talking about how they're finally here. They are the pinnacle of tag team wrestling. They are the absolute best tag team in the world. Of course, they were then introduced by the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks saying, hey, listen, you got us out of well, congratulations on the win. It was a great match. You got us out of a jam last week. But you didn't introduce yourselves. Of course, Matt on the pipe goes, my name is Matt. This is Nick. We have carried the tag team scene on their backs for a decade and a half. And they are the Young Bucks, and they are the best in AEW. And they extended their hands out to shake him. You know, the nice to finally meet you. Of course, they've always had that war of words for the past several years. And before they could shake, the Butcher and the Blade jumped the Bucks. FTR tried to chase him off, and then the super bad Death Squad, which is Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc, then jumped in, followed by the tag team champions Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Just kind of shaky ground. Next we had Next we had a backstage segment with Dasha Gonzalez interviewing the Natural Nightmares. Of course, Natural Nightmares is the team of Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall. Lately, the story thread that's been going on, and it's been taking place on Dark, so it's kind of above some people's heads, people that don't tune into Dark. The main meat and potatoes of this storyline right now is QT Marshall is distracted because for whatever reason or another, Allie has taken to him. Allie, of course, the bunny of the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. She is kind of just crawled her way into this group, and apparently her and QT are an item. Brandy has a legit beef with this, given the two of them still have beef. But yeah, this segment was basically Dustin telling QT to, get your head on right. Stop focusing on Allie, because next week they are next in line to face Omega and Paige for the tag team championships. Next we had women's tag team action as Nyla Rose and the bad girl Penelope Ford, with super bad Kip Sabian, taking on Chris Statlander and the AEW Women's Champion, my elite wifey, Hikaru Shida. And while we're on the subject of Hikaru Shida, no offense to Dasha, she does a great job announcing, but every time she says Hikaru Shida, I cringe because it sounds twangy. It just strikes the ear wrong. Then you hear Justin Roberts say Hikaru Shida, it's just that's just a minor gripe for me. It's like when I get annoyed that Michael Cole refers to Shinsuke Nakamura as Shin. I don't like that. It's awkward and weird. Anyway, this was a back and forth match. Down the stretch over, Kip Sabian got himself involved, and he got taken out by Chris Statlander. And while the referee was distracted with that mess, Nyla Rose tossed the AEW Women's Championship to Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford then cracked Hikaru Shida with it upside the head, hit a Fisherman Buster suplex, a bridging Fisherman suplex to put away Hikaru Shida. Next, we had a Darby Allin video, which he said he's still not medically cleared to compete, and then zoomed out, and there's legendary pro skater Tony Hawk saying you don't need to be medically cleared to skate. And then the whole video package was just Darby Allin trying to land a caveman, which is a skateboard trick where you jump up on your board. I know a little bit of skate lingo, a little bit. But it's just him trying to do a caveman off of a ladder and him failing. Of course, I may point out that while he was failing, he wasn't wearing a shirt. But the time he finally did get it, he was wearing a shirt. So that's the problem. He wasn't wearing clothes. If he was wearing clothes, he would have landed it first try. Anyway, we had another Britt Baker montage. Pretty much same old, same old. Apparently they're setting up a feud between Britt Baker and Big Swole when Britt Baker is 100%. Next we had 6-man tag team action as the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent, with Orange Cassidy, taking on Santana, Ortiz, and Hager of the Inner Circle. This was a decent enough match. Orange Cassidy, he got fired up. He was taking out Santana Ortiz. He was making Hager look like a fool. And Orange Cassidy got Ortiz with the victory. Afterwards, the Inner Circle beat down on the Best Friends. Jericho left commentary with Floyd the baseball bat. And he got Orange Cassidy real good around the ear. And he was bleeding from around the ear region. And then Jericho beat him down with a sack of blood oranges. Oh, the irony. Next we had an MJF interview where he picked a fight with and the Gun Sons. Still reading off Brock's here for the notes. Anyway, they got the team name wrong, but basically MJF started picking a fight with Billy and Austin Gunn of the Gun Club. So that's probably going to lead to MJF and Wardlow picking up a victory over the Gun Club. Next was Sammy Guevara taking on Colt Cabana. Boom, boom. Colt Cabana. Boom, boom. It's Colt Cabana. Yeah, this was this was pretty much a match of Sammy Guevara outsmarting Colt Cabana, just outpacing him. Sammy Guevara got the victory. Afterwards, the Dark Order came out to ringside. Of course, Mr. Brody Lee was flanked by Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Dark Order offered a hand to Colt Cabana and helped him up, and then they just left. And Colt Cabana was just like, "Well, what's all of that all that? What's that all about?" And then he left shortly thereafter. Okay, that happened in the same episode. All right, anyway. Then Sammy Guevara, who was still at ringside, and he was just talking himself up until Matt Hardy came out there. Matt freaking Hardy came out there. And of course, Matt Hardy tried to be sane for a couple of minutes until Sammy Guevara said the word fact, and that triggered Matt Hardy to go into his Matt Facts, which he then said, Matt Hardy believes that you would be better off leaving Chris Jericho of the Inner Circle to, live out your full potential. And Sammy Guevara is just like, well, I'd never trust, I'd never trust you since you tried to kill me with a golf cart twice. Just his delivery on that's hilarious. Then, of course, Matt Hardy turned into Damascus, and then he threatened to turn Sammy Guevara into, damn it. Mofongo, there we go. Threatened to turn him into Mofongo and eat him. Ow! And then Sammy Guevara got the hell out of there. Next we had Joey Janela. Well, just lamenting the fact that he's going absolutely nowhere. Because he said it best. 1 minute he was facing Jon Moxley in the main event. The next minute, he's nowhere. After he left the bar, he ran into Sonny Kiss, who was cruising about in a convertible. Ask him what he was doing. He's just like, been drinking. So apparently they're trying to set them up as a new tag team, which I'm down for it. Joey Janela's great. Sonny Kiss is great. Sonny Kiss doesn't do anything. Boom. There we go. Next we had Dasha, who had been looking all over the place for Colt Cabana. Of course, Colt was he had that look of emotionally exhausted as Dasha is grilling him. She's like, well, you can't honestly think that turning to the Dark Order is a good thing. And Colt's just like, well, I don't know if it's good or not. Then he knocked on the Dark Order's door, and he made his way into Brody Lee's office. Next, we had a Jon Moxley interview with Alex Marvez in the parking lot, and Jon Moxley said he's in a bad mood, but not just because his body hurts. He even says it hurts to sit on the toilet because rumor is he actually busted his ass at Double or Nothing. But he's also mad because Taz keeps saying that Brian Cage is going to beat him at Fyter Fest. Of course, Mox takes umbrage with the fact that anybody thinks that they could beat him. And of course, he said this makes him mad because he's a miserable bastard. And of course, Taz got up in Mox's face, started spitting some more hot fire, while Cage jumped Mox from behind and just chokeslammed him right into a car windshield. And it was really good. I love this segment. It was amazing. And finally, in the main event, sorry, a little indigestion, we had Cody defending his TNT Championship against Mark Quinn of Private Party, who is rocking some new music. I don't know if that's, his solo music or if that's going to be new music for Private Party. It did sound a little bit more inspired than, hey, it's a private party, but you're not invited because it's a private party. Let's get it started. It's a private party. Anyway, yeah, this was a fantastic match. Of course, Cody was working a bit heelish in this. He had some nasty and aggressive tendencies, especially going after Mark Quinn's previously injured ankle, and that's what led Cody to victory, as he targeted Quinn's ankle all throughout the match, locked in an ankle lock, and got the victory. Afterwards, Cody and Arn gave Mark Quinn his props. And then afterwards, Jake Hager of the Inner Circle made it known that he wants a piece of Cody for the TNT Championship. And then he punctuated that by beating up on Arn Anderson. Of course, it just turned into a big-ass clash as Cody, Private Party, and Matt freaking Hardy attacked Hager, and Hager got backed up by Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. Afterwards, and just before the cameras went out, Cody told Hager if he wants a shot at the TNT Championship, he'll get it at Fyter Fest. So that match has been confirmed. It's going to be for the TNT Championship. Hager, Cody, booked. Of course, don't forget, Fyter Fest, 2-week event. The first 2 weeks in July is Fyter Fest on TNT. So, check it out. That's it for our show. But you know what else you can check out? You can check out Rod's podcast, Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime, on the CastBox app. Go check it out. Anyway, that being said, I'm War Machine MJ, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bang.